All copyrights belong to Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. Please watch the movie. This video is in no way a substitute to watching the movie. This is simply a review of the movie and falls under fair use. I retain no rights to this movie.
Finally, my promise to you has arrived. I'm doing the Final Destination Bloodlines video. I'm wearing the same shirt, and yeah, let's just get to it because listen, I sound like a monster there for a second, but let's get down to it and see all the deaths in the Final Destination franchise, analyze them and where they started, which one is the best one, and you can all vote on it. I promised you this video, even though I've done like two videos on that already, but yeah, this is gonna be the last. Okay, this is my trilogy of videos. So let's begin our journey into the deaths of the Campbell family. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through these deaths chronologically of the Campbell family, and the only exception to this rule is going to be the premonition deaths, because they didn't actually happen. They happen in other ways. So because Iris, being the badass that she is, prevented it in a very intelligent fashion. Ironically, hers is the first we're going to be looking at. Let's get something out of the way. The Campbell family are idiots. I'm sorry, but they are. Especially Eric. Gerard Way wannabe. He wasn't even destined to die. Death still took him because he was just so fed up. No, there's actually a deeper reason. But if I was dead, I would still take that sucker down. I would. I'm sorry. These are fictional characters. Remember that. Who, after evading death at the Skyview, still managed to live a long life. Not a full life, but a long life. She's the oldest character to die in the Final Destination franchise, so her death being of her own choosing, she's sacrificed herself. And that's also one of the things that I love about Iris, is that in order to save her family, knowing that death got her by unconventional means, by giving her cancer, she knows she has not maybe a few months to live or something. So what happens is, she knows that passing the knowledge on to someone else is going to be critical in this scenario. And when Stephanie, who's been having the dream for months, a college student who should know better, on a scholarship, should be smart, right? She should be intelligent enough to put some Lego pieces together, puzzle pieces together, and figure out, okay, maybe there is some truth to what Iris is mumbling about. Maybe she's going senile, or maybe she's just trying to warn you of a horrifying death, and she just completely blows her grandmother off. Just stay with her, talk to her, get more information, get a little more detail. You know, just be smart. So Iris, knowing she's going to pass away and her family is basically doomed, she sacrifices herself. She comes out of her dungeon death trap of a house, somehow staying alive in there for decades. I don't know how, Iris. I don't know. It's still a mystery to me how you did that. But as soon as she steps out, she recognizes the signs. She sees the air. Death is getting excited. The smoke is just going off, and is like, finally, she's out, and I'm gonna get her this time. And she sees the sign. She reads the signs so accurately that she stops on the doorstep and thinks twice, and then she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna save my family, I'm gonna be the sacrifice. And she goes to her granddaughter and she says, here, at least take the book, you know. And there's no harm in taking that book. There is literally nothing to lose here. She asks Stephanie to step back. She also steps back, and the exact series of events happen. We saw that fire extinguisher go down when Stephanie closed the door. So she's already spotted that fire extinguisher and the steel compass. Why do you have that, Iris? Ma'am, are you okay? It falls onto the fire extinguisher, impaling her from the back of her head to the front, out the mouth, and it splatters blood all over Stephanie, which is traumatic, but at least Stephanie didn't die, and she still doesn't believe her. Her sacrifice was in vain, and so that was Iris's death. It's the first death of the movie, and it did not disappoint. Iris going out like that did make me go, oh my, I feel so bad for her. And having a fire extinguisher impale you is it's not pretty. I mean, you think it's a quick death, but the brain remains active 30 seconds after being beheaded or something like that. Any injury to the brain, it's not really quick. So she did feel pain. It's not pretty, it's not quick, but quicker than cancer if you want to compare it to that. Then we have our second death, the first child of Iris Campbell. Howard the idiot, because oh my god, in Gilmore Girls, Emily Gilmore is like Howard rhymes with coward or something. A man's name and sorry to all the people out there named Howard, it's not a dig on you, it's just a series I'm looking back at that she says a man's name should be manly, like Richard, the man she's married to, his name is Richard, so she's like Richard the Brave, Richard the Lionheart, Howard the Coward. It's like, it's funny, it's just a jab at the woman she's jealous of, but still, regardless, here Howard is very much in denial and he is an idiot. So you live up to Emily Gilmore's expectations, Howard, and Emily, for calling that. Everyone else named Howard, I'm sorry, I'm not against the name Howard. It's a great name, top notch. Okay, so he's, after his mom's death, they're having a barbecue, and barbecue has hazards under normal circumstances. So here are dangers that can obviously trigger a Rube Goldberg-esque mechanism death. And if you don't know what that term means, check out my first video on the Rube Goldberg-esque methods. We see a blender making drinks, and then we have the daughter cutting with a knife, and then we have Bobby putting in the ice. Now his death scene I personally like, because we don't know the context, we haven't done the research. Iris had, she knew what she was stepping into, they showed us what she was stepping into, but Howard, Bobby's stacking glasses, he breaks one and he cleans it all up. That's smart, Bobby, clean up properly, but one piece remains. Bobby, make sure it does not go into, oh my god, it went into the ice. Thank you, Bobby. There's a Jenga game going on. Watch out for splinters. We get a fake outline. Then we see the barbecue not lighting up. Eric's trying to light it up, and then it just blows fire. I've got the hiccups. You might think that, okay, his dad might come along and kind of help him, and that may lead to a chain reaction. There's this trampoline and there's a rake beneath it, so maybe that's gonna come into play. Maybe they're gonna ask Uncle Howard to tramp like Phil in Modern Family, do the Dumpy duck.
There's a lot more going on, but you won't be able to absorb it the first time you see it. Hi! Savai! Savai! No good. Okay.
Oh, you were right. I totally missed it.
I'm glad that happened. I'm actually glad that happened. It's a good reminder that Dunphy Tuck demands respect.
Here we have another fake out where when he's toasting, the daughter starts choking, but it's just the drink went down the wrong pipe sort of choking, not the glass choking. Now the mystery is who has the mystery with the mystery glass with the shard in it. Whoever has it wins the prize of death. Sorry. Death wins the prize in this one, ladies and gentlemen. Now we've got musical chairs instead of musical glass shard, glass with drinks. So that's circling. I don't know who's gonna drink it. We don't know who's gonna drink it. They don't know who's gonna drink it. They don't even know there's a glass shard in one of the drinks. And turns out it's the dad who picks up the glass, who's not even part of the bloodline, so it won't hurt him. Would it? Of course not. That's just pure nonsense. And then Howard channels his inner Phil Dunphy and jumps on the trampoline. But no, none of that comes into play. It's just one bottle of beer that Eric puts over the brick wall, and that's it. That's the thing that causes the chain reaction. But before he jumps on the tramp, his sister says, wait, and she removes the rake from under the trampoline. Imagine if she hadn't and he fell on it. Oh my god, that would have been a bad injury. So she puts it there, but it still wants to play a part. Then the rake that is denied feels so dejected that it conspires with its fellow tools that, hey, we're gonna take this man down. I was denied my birthright. Remember the beer bottle? The final clue? Howard's wife puts a bowl of salad or something, I don't know what the bowl is containing, and the bowl knocks over the beer bottle and it falls onto the lawnmower switch, and it turns on, and it's a long ass hose that just inflates like a snake, slithering while other things happen in the background. One of the kid puts his foot through the trampoline where the rake was actually. So yeah, the mom did save one foot and the trip to the hospital. So yeah, there's that. And then due to that shock, the Jenga tower collapses onto the glass containing the glass shard, the broken glass shard from the start. So yeah, the glass shard does play a role, as does the beer, as does the trampoline, as does the rake. So everything that I've mentioned, they're all playing their own distinctive role. Howard is just walking away from the trampoline back to wherever, and he just full on just on the glass shard. It's pretty deep in there. It went in the one end and out the other, and he's hopping on one foot. I'm okay. Howard's fine. Howard's doing just fine until the rake gets to fulfill its own destiny, falls on the lawnmower. The lawnmower pulls a sinister. It's very excited to make a cameo. It's a good death. I would. It's pretty awesome how things work out. Stephanie is not that stupid now. Sudden character flip. She's preaching to the non-choir. I mean, she's preaching to people who have maybe 2 brain cells between themselves. Our third death, which should be Emo Gerard Way because he was Howard's firstborn. Let's still do the fake out one. I like it. So Iris has chart and she's explaining after Howard's death why they're dying, and people in the 90s were procreating like rabbits. I mean, come on, that chart is so long. I mean, have Emo Gerard Way, Eric next on the list. I'm gonna stop calling him Emo Gerard Way. Gerard Way has a special place in my heart and Eric doesn't. So Eric, first of all, he's called into the tattoo parlor as a favor even after his dad died and is told to close up. Closes the neon sign and then he starts cleaning up. Obviously there's different chemicals, who has a fan like that? I mean, that's so extra. So what happens is the series of events is that he starts cleaning up with chemicals, which is flammable. Of course it's flammable. He gives himself a little tattoo, a dad tattoo. The speaker start blaring the bobblehead type, the skeleton figure, so it falls onto the counter and it makes a pencil case roll over, which I think causes an ink bottle to fall, and that ink bottle causes an analog alarm clock to fall that clashes into a glass jar full of pins and needles and stuff. He pushes back his chair violently, like psh, and that causes the flammable liquid, one of the cans, to fall. Its cap opens up. Of course it does. And of course one of the chains wants to be free, and as soon as Eric looks up at the flammable liquid pouring out onto the floor, it catches on his nose pin and the fan is just moving because he turned on the fan. So the more it turns around, the more the chain wraps up into one of its wings, which means that Eric's nose pin is either gonna shoot out of its nose painfully, which he does try to take out, but it tightens up, so he gets up on a swivel chair and suddenly there is a fire onto the flammable liquid because swivel chair drops something on it, and then he moves on to the glass chair, and obviously it's not going to support his weight, and suddenly he crashes through the table, and it shows us all the jewelry and piercings they offer, including a heart. So then he jumps onto the top of the swivel chair, and then he removes the chain and falls down and swings like Tarzan onto a heart pendant that they probably sell to people, and suddenly there's more fire from the outside, and we think he just got engulfed in the flames. And but next morning we see a bandaged arm and Eric just walking out. But it was a great fake out. He has many fake outs throughout the time he's alive, because when they're driving, Stephanie almost hits him with her car. He's just walking around casually in the road, and he's sipping on a juice box. He says he got branded right where his tattoo is, and suddenly almost we get another fake out with an almost Terry-like situation where Terry was in the first movie where Terry was hit with a bus. He almost gets hit by a van. But interestingly, before this, Stephanie actually predicted that Eric would die by a series of events. She's walking after Eric and she notices the trimmer could fall and hit the leaf blower guy, which could cause him to blow stuff into the kid's eye, and they kick the ball in your face. And Eric goes, soccer ball in my face. I should be more careful. So at the same time, his younger sister Julia is coming out just her daily cardio, and she's just looking at her brother's tattoo and goes, "Oh, that looks really bad." And he goes, "So chill. Yeah, I got branded. With a dad and a heart. You're gonna regret that tattoo, Eric." Then there's a garbage truck, and Stephanie goes like, "Oh my god, Eric, don't go near that truck." And Eric, being Eric, starts licking it. Eric, I get it. You don't believe her. You don't know where that garbage truck's been. Don't lick it. Oh my god. Julia goes off for her daily cardio, and the garbage truck sort of moves on to the next house. The same series of events happen in the same way Stephanie predicted. The tea trimmer falls, the leaf blower guy gets spooked, blows leaves into the kid's eye. All we see is a soccer ball hit her on the side of the head, and she just tumbles into the garbage can, into the garbage, literally. And there's a compactor that just and they see that, so they start running, but the driver is too busy driving without looking onto the road, because why look at the road when you're driving, right? So he's just swiping, and to top it off, he's playing loud music so he can't hear the screams, and he's got the trash compactor on, so it's just closing in, and Julia's still in there, and Stephanie climbs the ladder, and she's like, you're not gonna die, it's not your time. Oh, Stephanie, you poor thing. You didn't know of your aunt's indiscretions, did you? Because what ends up happening is Julia's head gets watermeloned, and her hand gets up to her elbow, gets stuck in Iris's hand, and the rest of her body gets crushed before they can get the driver's attention. After losing Julia in such a freaky accident that they choose to believe Stephanie and Iris. So Iris, you're vindicated now. So Aunt Brenda finally confesses that she had an affair, and Eric's dad wasn't his dad. He's not part of the bloodline. So he should be happy, right? Are you kidding me? He's gonna be way more emo now. He's gonna be cutting his arm off with the dad and a heart tattoo. The silver lining here is Eric is safe, alright? Now, Eric, all you have to do is not piss off death, and you're fine. You're safe like the dad and Aunt Brenda. But no, Eric's gonna be Ericing all over the place. So next in line is Bobby, the poor good golden retriever boy, the youngest of Howard's sons, and he totally completely believes Stephanie to the point that, so I'm coming with you, I need protection, which is smart. It's smart. But Eric also chooses to come along. They all go to the hospital. They figure out that JB works in the hospital. They figure out which hospital, and they go to meet JB. And there we find, rest in peace, Tony Todd. And I've been fangirling him in both my videos. And death also got him, not by conventional means, which means he killed someone. or multiple someones. So we're told that we're about to see Bobby's death, right? So he goes and they talk to JB, and JB gives them two options. One, take another person's life and live out the rest of the lifetime that was allotted to them, or to flatline and have someone bring you back. Now Bobby, being the golden retriever that he is, he can't kill anybody, and you were in a hospital, we're gonna bring you back. Now the smart way to do that would be to have him eat something with peanuts in it, call a doctor, have him flatline, and then have him resuscitated. But no, we know he has a peanut butter allergy. We know it's gonna play a part. Eric goes straight for the salted or unsalted peanuts, and he's like, no, if I'm going out, I'm gonna have one of these. And generic peanut butter and chocolate cups, he's like, he takes them out of the vending machine. They obviously get stuck and they don't come out. So Eric is just so mad. He punches the glass and it cracks. He's like, wait, dude, it's like, I don't know how many dollars. I think you can afford another one or something. Go to another vending machine. Aren't there multiple vending machines or something? I don't know. And then he goes to the back of the vending machine, and poor Bobby, who's already on death's list, he could end up being smashed by the vending machine if you think about it. And he's like, hold it up, and he's just halfway, like it's tilting 30 degrees, and Bobby is just on the other end like, oh my god, it's gonna fall on me. And suddenly the chocolate cups fall down, and they put the vending machine right side up, so false alarm, and the spring just sticks out, like just out of the others. What happens is that they go to the MRI room, and this is my favorite scene, top number one favorite scene. They go to the MRI room. I mean, can't you go to the storage closet or a normal hospital room? No, we have to go to the MRI room. And here is where we get our coolest kills. Yes, I said kills, because here we see, so Eric puts Bobby into the MRI room. Bad choice, the worst choice possible for Bobby, not for us. And then he just closes the door, and just like Stephanie closed Iris's door, the fire extinguisher fell down. A clipboard falls down onto the computer keys, the right computer keys, because the system is now online. And suddenly we get this very cool shot of Bobby turning around and the MRI turning on, and it's just so amazing. I love this part. All the computers, the energy is going up, and he's just talking to himself, psyching himself up, okay, don't move. And Eric's out getting him a wheelchair, trying to find it, and he's just looking at the MRI. Bobby's it just alternates between the two, the MRI turning on ring by ring. The others are looking for the two brothers. Eric finally finds a wheelchair, and he brings it. He's like, the others looking for him. Charlie's actually calling, and they don't notice that the MRI's energy is increasing, or its electricity or magnetism is increasing. I don't know what settings it was on, or what settings what's happening here. He bites into the peanut butter cup and starts to choke. First of all, it takes a while, and then he's he takes a bite, he doesn't choke first of all, so we get that fake out, and then suddenly he starts choking and unable to breathe, and he's like grasping for his EpiPen, and then the MRI energy just reaches a lock, and it says manual override required. Steph and team is trying to locate them. As soon as he gets a call, it just sticks to the MRI and overrides the manual override, and it goes into research power. We see it slowly raising up, and we see Eric turn around, and we see his earrings go, his nose ring, his other piercings, on his chest and down below. And then before anything else could happen, the wheelchair that he brought just crushes him, and the power keeps increasing, and the wheelchair falls onto him like a pretzel, like the spokes of the wheelchair penetrate his stomach, and he folds like a pretzel, and the wheelchair folds like a pretzel, and everything in the hospital, nearby in the hospital, starts going towards the magnet, because obviously it's at that level of power. And Bobby's face is now swelling, and he's just crawling towards the EpiPen, trying to get it, and finally he just administers it, and Bobby's just standing next to the MRI, and as soon as the nurse opens the door, all the metallic shit comes popping out, and he somehow avoids the scissors and the pen. But remember that spring from the vending machine suddenly breaks out of the glass and takes its revenge for the smack it got, and it's just swirling around in his brain, and he just dies a very, very gory but awesome death and just falls to the ground. So now only mom, Darlene, Stephanie, and Stephanie's brother Charlie are left. So they decide that Iris's home, the Doomsday Death Trap, is the safest place to be. But how is this place safe? It looks like I said in my previous videos, a death trap. The outside especially looks like it's fortified against a horde of zombies. And Stephanie's like, he's gonna make a move, I don't know what it is. So we need you to get inside. We need to get you inside now, because the mom, Darlene, is next. And she just decides to reverse and ram into the gate. And just brilliant idea, Steph. Because just as she does, the outside is obviously unprotected. She brakes really hard, and something falls on her seatbelt, rendering it useless, and she can't undo her seatbelt. So she's stuck in the trailer park, and she tells them to go inside. I'll be safe as long as you're safe. And suddenly the same plant. So because of the vehicle collision, now there's a little spark in the gutters, and a few of the sparks go through the wind. We see the pot just unrolling, and it falls, and the gas turns on because it falls onto the gas nozzle, and the whole house just erupts into flames. Now what did I tell you? Now tell me, what did I tell you? If it is just that easy for one potted plant to turn on the gas and just have the whole house burn into smithereens, I don't think this is a safe house you were thinking of. And luckily the mom notices the gas nozzle going so she pushes Charlie out of the way and closes the door and runs as well, so they both survive. And but the impact sends Stephanie's van into the water, and as you remember, her seatbelt is not working, which means that she's stuck in the trailer park and trying to get her seatbelt off. But we know she's safe until the mom is safe. Charlie's pinned down by debris, and then there's a pole that's almost about to fall. It's just hanging in there, like just, yeah, I'm about to fall. And the mom picks the debris up and kind of helps him, but she gets him out of there with her mom's strength. And then he's like, Mom, oh my god, you go, because she got some scars, and she's like, go save your sister, I'm gonna stay alive as long as I am. But the pole that was hanging falls onto her. A nod to Final Destination 3, where Mickey got squashed by a pole. She dies in the same manner, and there's just so many series of events here that I can't point them out like the others. And frankly, it's just, I don't know, not the third act for me, the desirable third act. My interest peaked at the MRI scene, and then the movie kind of just stays a little mid for me. And Stephanie is now unconscious because she's been drowning forever now, and he cuts her seatbelt loose and performs CPR. She pulls out the water, and they both realize that, oh, okay, he brought her back from the dead, performed CPR, she was dead, so they're safe, alright? Obviously. And Stephanie just goes to drop his brother off, and the whole family does, to the prom date's house. And while the dad is talking to the prom date's dad, Iris pricks her finger, which is never good in a Final Destination film, while fixing his the rose. There's the old lady who picked up the unlucky penny that Iris picked up from the sky view, and they lost in the hospital. So the old lady drops the penny again, the unlucky penny, and it gets stuck in the train tracks, and of course it does. Stephanie is bragging that, hey, he brought me back from the dead, and he's like, yeah, technically you weren't dead. He just obviously she didn't flatline. And then she sees the red car, and then she sees the prom date, and she's wearing a blue dress just like Iris, and there's wind chimes and wind, and she realizes, and Charlie realizes, and there's a train incoming. The train derails, and we finally get a win. They run, and we have a win for the logs from Final Destination 2, where two logs crush both Stephanie and Charlie at the same time. Now I'm going to go through the premonition, and I'm going to go through those deaths, but not in as much detail. Here we see a couple clearly in love. They get a picture taken at the sky view, and Iris and Paul, they get on a very crowded elevator, and even the doors jam, and they have to manually close them. Just like, and then we find out that it was built 5 months early, which means they cut corner. Dudley Dursley of this world suddenly decides to jump. He's like, I'm so sorry, I'm ruining this night, but she still puts a rose on in his coat pocket, and is like, I'm with you, I think everything is perfect. And she pricks her finger again, never a good sign. Suddenly we see that someone is uncorking champagne or something, and it hits a diamond chandelier above a glass floor, which is the worst architectural mistake I've ever seen. Who has diamond chandelier over glass floor? Diamond cuts glass. Come on, people. They go up to the highest vantage point, where again we see more signs. A woman's hat flies away in the air, and the birth control ad throws pennies on the ground. Paul proposes and she tells him she's pregnant, and he's so happy that we're gonna be a family, and they get engaged. And then she sees the birth control ad child just throw the unlucky penny, which ends up killing Steph and Charlie in the end, and it goes through an air vent and gets stuck in a fan. And then we see them dancing, and the diamond is just dancing with them. And yes, like I said, they cut corners because the nails start popping out, they use cheap materials and shoddy craftsmanship, so the more weight there is, the more nails start popping out, and they all are dancing, and suddenly the penny gets released from the van and into a gas tank, and it just gas also going through the vents into the building, and we see it, they don't see it. And Iris suddenly gets these anxious feelings. I don't know why, because why she didn't pull Paul away as well. And suddenly the ground breaks and everyone just falls below them. The ballet guys finally get the song, raindrops are falling down, and suddenly it's just people falling down, and they just run away. And then we have Paul hanging on to the last piece of the glass, and Iris is reaching out to him, and he falls and bashes his head and dies. And then we see the brightest person in the room. He turns a lady into a literal shish kebab. And what happened to Stop, Drop and Roll? Nothing, because she just keeps running. She's just the catalyst for the gas to spread, because as she's running, as she reaches the vents, the penny again comes out of the vents and there's a blast. And while JB's, his mother, is hiding him in a cabinet, she's consumed by the blast, and he sees her through the crack in the window burning up. And then everybody tries to get into the stairs, and the Dudley is like, children first, and they start to run down, but the stairs and the cement collapses, and so many people, so more than a lot of passageway is just falling away, so they can't use it, they're not Spider-Man, they can't jump. So the child survives though, and then everyone rushes to the elevator. Great decision making here. And the guy who denied the reservation, Iris and Paul's, he's like, in the start he's like, you're tearing me apart, because Paul secretly whispers to him that I'm planning to propose on this special night. He's like, you're tearing me apart. The doors close and he's torn into half, and just the lift breaks because it's over capacity. The people in the lift, in the elevator, they're also dead because it dropped 400 something feet. A very ominous moment where the sky view is about to split into half, but Iris sees that everything is turning. The wine bottle is falling to the right, even though the floor should be straight. And there's a woman who holds on to her shoe, and that's the only part of her that she can reach. And Iris reaches the place that's safe, and she's like, give me your hand. But we get the Jurassic Park 2, the Lost World moment. That made all the difference. The piano falls onto the screaming Jurassic Park woman, and the whole window falls apart, and all the people on the window side are dead, but the Dudley child is just he running, and the piano falls onto him, crushing him, and the penny is back into the wishing well. So Iris is now just contemplating, looking at her engagement ring. She finds him alive. They're the only two survivors at this point, I'm assuming. So she takes him, and everything is just crashing around them. So they run anywhere they can, they jump, and suddenly we see that the building just falls apart, and they're stuck because the ring is stuck in between two nails. Now that can't support the weight of one person, let alone two. So obviously the whole entire skin along with the ring is sloughed off, and her finger and Iris and JB die with Iris getting some icicle shaped object into her mouth. So yeah, there's that premonition. These are the deaths in the premonition that I could point out. Let me know if I missed any, or if I said something wrong. I tried to do it right. I tried to do it chronologically. I did all the fake outs. I explained why Eric also died, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was long due. My next video will be about 28 days later, and then 28 weeks later, so look out for them, and they'll be shorter as well. I'll summarize them. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe, like, follow, send me any requests in the comments, or at any of my socials, or nemothegeek at gmail.com. Until then, stay safe. See you in the next video. Thank you.